Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 Warhammer battle. This is going to be Britonia and the Beastmen versus Chaos and the Empire. For my army, our front line is made up of 4 men-at-arms, 2 battle programs in the middle, and then a foot squire behind them. I also have 3 peasant mobs, 2 up here, and then 1 that I forgot to put on the front line that's slowly moving up. We have 2 field trebuchets, then most of my money went into a flying force with King Lewin Leon Kerr, a group of Royal Hippogriff Knights, because it was requested to see some of those, and then 2 Royal Pegasus Knights, and then a Damsel of Life to try and support my flying squad, because these are all units that we need to keep alive as long as possible. My ally over here has two different forces. We have Malagor the Dark Omen, 2 Gorbals, a normal Centaur, 2 Centaurs with great weapons, Chariots, Chaos, Warhound with poison, and then 2 Centaurs with throwing. Wait, did I say throwing axes already? 2 throwing axes, 2 greats, 1 normal. There we go. They're all piling into these marauders with throwing axes. I guess the enemy forgot to put them on skirmish mode because they just get charged here. And over here, there's 2 Marauder Horse Masters coming up to my lines to assault my peasants that I am assuming the enemy put on skirmish mode, so I'm going to try and trick them by moving King Lewin around and then trying to force them to run this way right into my Royal Pegasus Knights, which are going to be cutting them off. But these are also not on skirmish mode. Listen, skirmish mode is not great, but if you're not going to micro the units yourself, it's something. You know, it's something. But anyway, the rest of my allies' forces are going to be 2... Whoa, why does my camera keep going down? 2 Minotaurs with shields, and then a Minotaur with great weapon over here. And then for the Empire forces, we have General of the Empire, 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries, a whole bunch of great swords, a whole bunch of spearmen, a whole bunch of crossbows. The enemy, besides those horses that are getting killed, we have Dragon Ogres, 2 Chosen warriors with halberds, 2 Chosen with halberds, 1 here, 1 over there, 1 normal Chosen, Archeon, the Ever Chosen, armored trolls, and then 2 aspiring champions, and then of course the horse masters and throwing axes, which are kind of getting murdered right now. The 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries are going to be firing into the closest targets, which are the peasant mobs, so I'm just going to let them do that. That's fine. The peasant mobs, I was actually going to use their 300 gold to try and upgrade my men-at-arms, but then I thought, you know what, let's get some fodder units for, you know, fodder, take charges or something. So the Hellstorm rocket batteries are going to be focused on them. Meanwhile, my 2 field trebuchets are going to be focusing on trying to kill the greatswords line. That's what they're going to be doing. So you can see my sick moves to try and outwit the skirmish mode is not even needed. So I'm like, well, alright, then I guess we'll just charge in here. The Minotaurs are also going to support me over here as their mobile force of the Beastmen are just killing these other horses. They're shattered here. I don't know if these ones come back or not. I can't remember. But they are nearly destroyed. So after we rout these horse masters, I'm like, well, there's these dragon ogres here, and I got this force that's really good with anti-large, so let's just bloop our ways over here. So that's what they're going to be doing. Meanwhile, my main force is just going to be kind of sitting right here. I was thinking of charging the Empire player because I see them starting to move towards the Chaos player. I thought to try and support them against the Beastmen, but the thing is, like, the Beastmen's army is very mobile. I have a mostly mobile force, so I'm like, you know what? We'll just sit right here. I'm going to let my field trebuchets do their work. As you can see, they've already started well in on killing these greatswords. So again, I'm going to set my army up here because the Hellstorm rocket batteries are only going to fire at my peasant mobs. They're not even going to re-aim the Hellstorm. So they just fire at whatever target is closest. So I'm like, this is fine. I'm murdering their greatswords with my field trebuchet. They're murdering 100 cost peasants. They're just peasants. Like, I could care less. So we're just going to kind of hang out here and allow my mobile force and my allies' mobile force to do their thing. So we do a quick charge on the Dragon Ogres. King Lewin's going to go down here, and then I'm going to peel off the Pegasus Knights. They're going to go over here against Archeon with my Royal Hippogriff Knights, try to do some damage to him. Meanwhile, King Lewin's going to sit here and support the Minotaurs who are now charging into battle to try and finish off the Dragon Ogres, and we can take some chosen damage, so I'm not too concerned about it. I probably could have just left my Pegasus Knights there, but I was like, I don't think they're needed here anymore. Meanwhile, the General of the Empire is just going to go woo, and go over here against my field trebuchet, who are just pounding the hell out of their greatsword line. And again, my peasant mob, I'm just running them up. I'm like, here, you can hit them. Going to put my damsel over here to try and quickly support a fight over here. I don't know if I cast the heal spell or not, but that's why I'm moving her over here just in case I need one. But then we're going to move her back to the main line as well. And the Hellstorm rocket batteries are still firing at the peasant mobs. But I am getting my force close enough to launch an attack if needed. So you can see these Minotaurs chasing off the Dragon Ogres. King Lewin's going to be coming over here, and I'm actually going to be going on the General of the Empire along with my Royal Hippogriff Knights. Or actually, no, my Royal Hippogriff Knights is going to split and go this way. Royal Pegasus Knights is going to go eventually behind and prepare for the attack against the Empire player by getting in a position to assault those crossbows. Meanwhile, my allies' very mobile army is just crushing a single chosen at a time. These throwing axes are getting into the halberds. My Royal Pagan Knights are going to help against these Chaos Trolls very briefly, then we're going to pull them off as well. And now, most of my allies' forces are just gathering around Archaon, which is a little bit of a waste, but you know what? They're winning this fight. Gorbul's going to halt these Aspiring Champions in the Chaos Chosen with halberds while the throwing axes just do their thing. The great weapons are still chasing the Dragon Ogres over there. My peasants are still slowly dying to Hellstorm Rocket Battery fire, which again is fine. My damsels rejoining the main line. My field trebuchets are still firing on the great swords, and King Lewin is now over here dealing with the General of the Empire, who has no chance in whatever world and deities you believe in or whatever, no chance in any of those to out-bloop a bloop master such as King Lewin Leon Kerr on a Hippogriff. He is the bloopiest of the bloops. One of the best warriors in the game. While I'm out on the Hippogriff, specifically. So yeah, over here, not going too well for the Chaos player. They're just getting kited by these throwing axe Centaurs, and now here come the Minotaurs, the great weapons. The Gorbul's are still really healthy. Archaon is below half health, so it's not looking that great. My peasant mob is finally starting to rout, but I want to keep them as the closest target to the Hellstorm, so I'm actually pulling back my infantry now, so they keep targeting the peasants and not like start targeting the men-at-arms or something. Meanwhile, over here, these Marauder Horse Smashers went back up, and we're going to charge them once again with the Pegasus. King Lewin is going to be chasing the General of the Empire and doing periodic charges until we get to about over there. And also, I wanted to try and hold off my charge until my ally could just also charge it to the side and we could just wipe out the human player really quickly. But this fight against the Chosen is actually taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. The Chosen are very hardy. They're very tanky. They can stand up to a lot of forces for a while, and that's exactly what they're doing. But they don't have much of a chance of winning that fight. So right now, I am now going to get prepared since we are chasing this general back to their formation. We have our Hippogriffs here. We have our Pegasus Knights over here. And I'm really kind of surprised the crossbows aren't even trying to fire at the Hippogriffs. But, okay. They have moved the spear line up front between me and their Hellstorm rocket batteries. Field Trebuchet just still having a field day attacking the Great Swords. And we're finally going to get into position to start charging this enemy army. We're going to start getting into the crossbows here. King Lewin's going to charge the General of the Empire one more time. And then the Pegasus Knight's going to go bloop, bloop. Royal Hippogriff Knights, bloop. Peasant Mob's going to again absorb some damage from the crossbows this time. They are made to die. Meanwhile, we're going to start doing some engagement with men-at-arms against the Greatsword, which is not a great fight there. But the rest of the main force is going to be trying to do a flanking like this, as our Air Force just crushes those crossbows just instantly. We're going to also make sure that the General of the Empire routes. We're going to cast a heal spell, unless we already did, on this group of units soon from the Damsel who's now charging into the crossbows. Archaon and his forces are almost dead. Spearmen are now marching out, but they're going to be facing off against Battle Pilgrims. I don't know if did I mention Battle Pilgrims? I think I did. But they're going to be facing off against Battle Pilgrims who are better than Spearmen. That is for sure. And now we're going to split off our men-at-arms here to try and help chase these crossbows away. We have now chased off the General of the Empire, so now King Lewin can come back. And we're going to do another series of charges on the enemy's backline, as the Spearman is going to chase this men-at-arms. At first I thought all three Spearmen were, which is why I'm pulling back, but I guess they reassigned these Spearmen to do something else, so now I'm going to actually just engage against this one soon. Meanwhile, Field Trebuchet, I think, are still moving into position to try and target this unit now. Now we're going to charge in our men-at-arms, and we're going to back them up with the Royal Hippogriff Knights from the back. And that's going to be a hard fight for the Great Swords to win. Meanwhile, the Spearmen are just getting massacred by the Battle Pilgrims and Foot Squires, who are now supported by a replenishment spell there. Did a quick charge on the Hellstorm Rocket Battery and pulling them up for the Spearmen to get there to lock us down. And this units of Spearmen and Great Swords are now faltering under the weight of the Battle Pilgrims, and they are starting to succumb to the fact that both armies are very, very depleted. And that's going to spell doom for the Empire and Chaos Alliance. Man. So, again, if you're not going to manage your horsemen, you got to put them on skirmish mode. It's not a great solution, but it will help sometimes. At least more than them just standing still. So these guys got murdered for free. The Dragon Ogres were standing still, so they kind of got murdered for free. The Aspiring Champions and the Chosen just were unsupported by anything at the point that they were in the fight, so they just got outnumbered by a bunch of anti-armor Minotaurs. They had the throwing axe Centaurs, they had a chariot in there, and then two Centaurs with great weapons and a Gorbul. Like, this army was made to just charge an army like this down. Like, not even Chosen can stand up to all of this, to all that, just everything over there. They got crushed. And same thing for the Empire when facing off against me. I had a nice main line to keep them busy, and, well, you know, when 2 Hellstorm rockets, yeah, it looks impressive, they got a ton of kills, but that's all against these peasant mobs. Like, you gotta target your Hellstorms to actually hit units that matter. I was shocked that I was just sitting there and they didn't go after my Pilgrims and Foot Squires. They were just shooting my peasant mob. And yeah, my Air Force did really well. My Trebuchets killed a bunch of great swords, and they were too weakened by the time that they actually fought my infantry to do anything at that point. Especially when I had the help of the, you know, Royal Hippogriff Knights, or anti-armor glass cannons, and everything. So, but you know, good game to Ulysses, a Marine, and XTM Hyperion, and let's watch a cinematic view of that fight. Nothing even special about this attack, it's just a bunch of single file, like, Centaurs and puppies. But they didn't even move! So they didn't even need to be anything special. I'd be curious to see when Norsca comes out, to see like a Beastman and Norsca comp, because they are both just super aggressive armies that, as far as I know, I don't think Norsca has any artillery. I saw their stream where they released the Norsca units, and I don't think there is any artillery, so they are a we need to charge you down faction. So I'd be curious to see just a Norsca and Beastman just charging across the field and murdering people. And I almost got 2 peasants with fire arrows instead of the field trebuchet. Very glad that I got the field trebuchets instead. Because field trebuchets are only what, 100 more? Or are they 200 more than a fire arrow peasant? A fire arrow peasant is 500? I think they're 500, so it'd be 200 more than a fire arrow peasant. Are those the throwing axes? Where's the throwing axes? Where are those? Over here? You never see Centaurs with throwing axes, because they're really not that great. Man, this Chosen army just is so slow, and they're fighting such a mobile, fast force. And then we have these Dragon Ogres. This was a weird charge. Both my Pegasus Knights charged, so only like the first rank actually get anywhere, and everything else just lands. I'm like, what are you doing? I guess it's the angle that I came at them from now. So like, there was a lot of wasted damage here on the charge, but I didn't want them to stay in combat against Dragon Ogres, because Dragon Ogres do a lot of damage to Pegasus Knights. Unless you can charge them down really quickly, you might as well just pull out. And then I didn't want to immediately charge them again, because then that would just be a cycle charge, basically. If you charge in and pull out and then just kind of go somewhere else, it's not as shitty. It's still not great, but that's the advantage of having flying units. Now, if I didn't care about being shitty, I would have just pulled them out and then just cycle charge them to death. But, I try not to do that as best I can. But yeah, like, these slow units, man, and then, like, the Centaur is a great weapon, or with throwing axes. Jesus. The thing is, like, these have such a low range, it's really hard to use them against a lot of armies, but this is a perfect time. Like, what the hell are the Chosen with Halberds gonna do? Charge them? I don't think so.
The lady wills it. Glory awaits. Bound by honor.
See, we're just gonna leave the Gorbals and the Centaurs to their own devices. They got this.
There will be done.
They just can't do anything. They can't do anything. They can't charge the Centaurs. They just have to take all of these throwing axes to their backs. Or face.
The lion's will.
And then they have to take Archeon's Flaming Skull over that as well. Why did you do that? Why did you cast the Flaming Skull? What, were you trying to hit the Gorbel with the Flaming Skull spell? This is what you need to hit. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure Archeon's going to be just fine. Let's see how my army is doing. No, my men-at-arms! They're so precious to me. No, please don't die. Peasants, why? Alright, that was just both misses. What is this, field trip shit? Come on. At least they're hitting a unit that's more important than just a peasant mob. Oh, crossbowman, you should have been facing backwards. Too late now. Don't really ever use battle programs.
Keep your heads down, men! They're casting spells!
They're okay. I just wish they were cheaper. But I mean, maybe because they have Frenzy, that's why they're 600, but I don't know. They have the highest leadership though, so I guess if you need a Bretonnian line to really hold for a long time, this is probably one of your best bets. It's just... I wish their weapon strength was higher. They're not terrible. I just... eh. Oh, and I guess this one they shatter. And that's gonna do it, everybody. So thank you for watching. We got some Royal Hippogriff Knights in that one, and Battle Pilgrims. Both units I don't really use that often. I was also going to pull in Mounted Yeomen, but against the Empire, that's kind of a big risk, I find. Maybe not a huge risk. It's not worth it to me. Maybe next time I play Bretonnia, I'll bring them though. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time. Take care.